Hi everybody, happy Friday. Um, just wanted to stop by and say hello to everybody again on this Friday. I'm outside enjoying a little bit of Georgia's beauty. See if I could turn around and get it right. I'm just at a park right now, but it's so peaceful out here. It's beautiful. No water though. I wanted some water, but everywhere I went, it was closed. But I am really hoping everybody had a really good week this week. I did. I had a really eventful and uplifting week. I made a post about going to see John Maxwell, and he's been well, by introduction by one of my bosses, he's been a really good inspiration for me with personal growth and leadership and all that, and I mean still to this day. But today I wanted to talk about the power of a made-up mind. One of the things that I've been working on for myself is to be consistent, and in order to be consistent you have to have your mind made up with whatever it is you choose to do. I was listening to Brian Buffini's podcast, or I think it's a webcast, but he has a show. I think he said it comes on every month, but I got introduced to Brian Buffini through one of my clients, Johnny Frankum. And Johnny and I used to talk about just life stuff with, the things that we hear on those different podcasts. But he shared a personal story about I think he said they were called Dick and Ricky Hoyt. So Ricky Hoyt was a spastic paraplegic, and from what I understand what it is, he can't move. He needs he needs help with everything. But his dad, so him and his dad have been running Boston marathons and competing in Ironman competitions for years. And so in order for them to do this, the dad literally has to carry him, swim with him, run with him. If you understand what the marathon is, I know you do. But the Ironman competition, that's swim, bike, run. Brian Buffini had interviewed Dick Hoyt, and he asked him, well, how do you do it, and he even in his even in his interview, he said he was just looking for some like breathtaking response or whatever. And he said Dick Hoyt, all he kept saying, he just had his mind made up. He learned to swim. He couldn't swim the marathon. And I am not giving the story justice, because it's a really impressive story about how just deciding to make up your mind to do whatever you want to do, whatever it is you want to do, can really be the catalyst to changing your life. With my own story, when I was in the Army, I went to nursing school to become a Army nurse officer, a Corps officer. Nursing wasn't really what I wanted to do, but it was one of those things that was encouraged. One of my aunts, she kept saying, you should be a nurse, you should be a nurse. But that wasn't my love. That wasn't what I want to do. Have crazy respect for nurses, especially today. But that is just not my life's journey. In any case, the opportunity came up, and I jumped at the opportunity to become an Army nurse. Well, long story short, I was not successful. Not only for a couple of reasons why I wasn't successful. My heart wasn't in it, and two, I got sick. And at the time, I remember thinking, how I failed. But I knew I wanted to become an Army officer. So I fast forward, I got selected to go to OCS. But even with the selection process for OCS, and I'm not even talking about being at the school, I'm talking about just with me having ulcerative colitis, I had to go through a lot of medical things. I had to go through a med board, and even that could have disqualified me from going. But I remember when one of the things the doctor said to me was that if I can't do the physical portion of it, I wouldn't be able to go. But I was like, if it's anything that I can do is the physical portion. But also the part that discouraged me was the fact that, it was just so invasive, especially with having a medical condition. They have to go through your records, and you have to get poked, prodded, and just questioned at each step of the journey. But for every no that I got, it really fired up my drive to want to do it. And my mind was made up that I was going to go to OCS. And the thing is whether your mind is made up now and you take the step to go towards your journey, and along the way you just sort of misstep, if you haven't given up, then your mind's still made up. You still have a chance. You're not gonna get it right the first time. You're not gonna get it right the second time. You may even stop for a little while, but as long as you still have your mind on that one specific thing that you've always wanted to do, you still have a chance. Your mind is still made up. Never give up. If you're trying to accomplish something in your life, no matter what it is, weight loss, write a book, start a business, finish college, just keep pushing towards it. And I talked about this last week, and I really want to celebrate some people this week, because after my talk last week about taking small steps, I had several people reach out to me right after, and then even during the week, just really wanting to say, I've taken small steps to accomplish some things that I'd set aside. And that's all it takes. Even with making up your mind to do something, even if your goal is big, take small steps towards that goal, because you can still accomplish it. Don't settle for just surviving through a situation, or surviving through an event, or just surviving through life. God's blessed us with so much potential to do whatever it is we want to do. And we need to tap into that. We all have some kind of talent, so I feel like when you just settle for surviving at the moment, you're not doing yourself a service. You're not doing yourself justice. Do more. Tap into your infinite potential. Winners win. They don't win all the time, but they win because they never give up. So as long as your mind is truly made up, you're really never done. You never lose. You will never lose if you keep your mind stayed on where you're trying to go. When you make up your mind to do something, it's amazing how impactful it can be to others around you. That saying that says birds of a feather flock together is really true, because if you flock with bad birds, you're gonna end up doing not so nice things, or bad things, or not even living up to your potential. But if you hang out with people who are positive, who are elevating themselves, in all aspects of their lives, you tend to start doing that. When you're doing it, you pull those kind of people to you. And when you follow people who are doing that, they elevate you. It's nothing wrong with that. Just my thing is just, you got to know which direction you want to go in life, because when you don't know the direction you're trying to go, you'll go any and everywhere, because you don't have a point of reference for yourself. And that happened to me, sometimes a few times in my life, only because I just didn't know where I was going. I didn't make a plan. And yeah, you can say I was young at the time too. And as you get older, you start realizing and recognizing things. But the one thing that I would really hone in on is know where you're wanting to go. And just because you don't see the clear path right now doesn't mean that you can't get there. Sometimes we got to go through the mud to see the pavement. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about today. Just having a made up mind. a made up mind to do whatever it is you want to do. Don't settle for just mediocre. Don't settle for surviving. Make up your mind to to tap into your infinite potential, whatever that is. um I listened to Matthew McConaughey. I guess he wrote a book called Green Light. I haven't read it, but during the podcast this morning, I listened to Brian Buffini all this week, in addition to reading my John Maxwell, and just Brian Buffini was my focus this week. So he had Matthew McConaughey, who I guess he wrote the book Green Light, but without reading it yet, I got the gist of what it is. So green light is like red light, green light, yellow light. And like as he said in his book, everybody, especially within the last year, have experienced a red light, a green light, and an amber light, or still experiencing it. And the red light and the yellow light is where we don't want to be. But sometimes we need the red light and the yellow light to get to the green light in our lives, right? Sometimes we need the break. So the pandemic for us, for some of us, may have been the red light. It may have been the amber light, right? But it also created a green light. Let me tell you how I thought this was so profound. A lot of us, we go through our days, we just go. We don't really pay attention to family. We don't pay attention to like the small things, our kids. We're just so focused on life and not really focused on the life that we created, like our families, our wives, and all that. And for some of us, this pandemic forced us to come together as a family. It forced us to now sit down in a room together and talk things through, because we couldn't do anything outside of our dwellings, right? So the red light, green light, yellow light, I love that concept, because you need the red and the amber light sometimes to get us to the green light, which is here now. We're all valuing the things that we didn't really pay attention to, peace of mind, like money. Like throughout the pandemic, some of us, we may have saved money. We're used to shopping and just spending without really paying attention to what we're buying or whatever. But we all had to take a step back and reassess where we are. And unfortunately for some people, it wasn't, the red light was just, it was rough. It was rough on them. But I say that to say this: even though whatever light you had during that situation, you can still come out of it on top. You got to make up your mind that this is not going to be, this place where I'm at now is not where I'm going to be forever. This is not my tomorrow. This is today. Let's get through today. Like I talked about last week, small steps can be applied to every aspect of your life. Whatever it is, even in your studies, do a little bit at a time. Trying to lose weight, you do a little bit at a time. Want to go to college, take one class at a time. Small steps can be applied to every aspect of your life. And the green light is where, when you make up your mind that that's my goal, that's what I want to accomplish, there you have your green light, especially when you've gone there. And the one thing that I'm trying to practice is really trying to add value. And John Maxwell talks about that a lot, which is one of the things I kind of held on to. I've been holding on to that, just wanting to add value in everything that I do, even with my church, with my children, with my family. I just want to be an added value. I don't want to be the one where when people see me, they're like, oh, she's so negative. Oh, here comes Renee again. Just kind of cringing because you don't know what's coming out of my mouth. I want, when someone sees me, they are already happy that I'm approaching them, because they want to hear, or they want to feel the energy that I'm bringing, not, that is good energy. So one of the biggest things I'm trying to do is to add value in everything that I do to everyone, that comes in contact with me, in any way that I can, because we need each other. believe it or not, we do need each other. You know, sometimes we may think we got it all covered or we don't need anybody, but we do need each other. And we need to encourage each other more. One of the things that that was brought up this morning is Matthew McConaughey. He said to say I love you without saying the words. So it's like you gotta project that, and the person's gotta receive that you're saying I love you. You know, they gotta feel it without you saying. I thought that was so powerful. But thank you guys for taking the time to listen to me today. I have a lot to say, but you know, I just save it for here because I appreciate you guys taking the time to just listen in, taking time to listen. And I am happy that I can be of encouragement to some people. Anytime, you know, if I say something that resonates with you, I'm happy that, you know, I can bring light to it and just help you understand that you're not the only one going through the things that you're going through. And it's good to really try to find people, the right people, connect with positive people, connect with people who are going to encourage you even when you're down, connect with people who are going to remind you that, you know, there's good in everything and there's good in you. So like I said, thank you for joining me, and thank you for listening, and I will be back next Friday. All right, y'all have a good weekend and be safe, wear your mask, drink water. Bye guys.